Hello, everyone. So he's haunted you for years, from Stranger Things to Doctor Sleep to The Haunting of Hill House to Disney's Haunted Mansion and the hit TV series Evil. This is Fedor Steer. He's the man behind your nightmares. Better watch out before he disappears into the shadows. So stay tuned. All righty, and welcome back. My name is Chris, the independent filmmaker, and this is
Jess, the non-independent filmmaker.
Yes, and welcome to another episode of the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast. I am so happy to have this guest on. We've been trying to get on connected for a little bit here. He's a busy man, so that's a good thing. So this is Fedor Steer, actor, filmmaker, writer, director. He's done a lot of things. So we're going to break it down for everybody. So welcome. Thank you for taking the time out to join us this evening.
Well, it's very nice to be here. This is fun.
Yeah, thank you. So just a little bit, I always like when I do these, I try to think back, and we met in a horror convention here in the Orlando area. You're not in the Orlando area right now, or you live in Florida, correct?
Mm-hmm. Partly, yeah.
Okay, partly in Florida, yes. So you had come up to Orlando for this horror convention, and I remember it because you were one of the guests, and I had a table. I was one of the vendors I had a movie and a comic book and stuff like that, but you were one of the guests, and you were between Austin Janikowski, which is an actor, comic book guy in Tampa, and Taylor Maine from Halloween fame. So, and yes. I came up and talked, said hi to Austin, and I said hi to you, and you really hit me because you talked to me, and then you asked me about, hey, what are you doing here? What are you doing? And that just really stuck. It was like everybody's friendly, but you were just really interested in what everybody else was doing. And I really appreciated that. So, and that's where that conversation started. And when I got to know you, and I was like, I gotta, follow you and what you're doing and everything like that. So thank you.
Yeah,
for
well,
that.
of course. And that's a big part of the fun. This whole acting business and going to conventions is meeting all these wonderful and crazy and wacky and weird friends, people that are interesting. They've got a lot going on in their lives, and I like to hear about it. If I wasn't engaging with the people, then I'd probably be a lot more bored. I mean, acting is already a very boring job. So engaging with people makes it a whole lot more fun.
Yeah, it does.
That's true. And you were, and I like that you are, that engaging at those conventions. It definitely makes a lasting impression, even on me as a filmmaker. Okay. And knowing the business, it does. And, horror fans are very wacky and very dedicated people. So just take us back, because you've done a lot of things. But how did you get into the acting business? Because you did, you were teaching, you've taught overseas. You were in the Coast Guard in Canada. You own your own company. So where did that fit into that busy life?
Yeah, I didn't set out. I didn't set out to be an actor. I mean, I talked to so many people, and I was talking to a lady a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, at the time she was 5 years old, something like that. She was like, I'm going to be an actress. And no, I wasn't even thinking along those lines at all. It's just I happened to be working on a cruise ship by the time I'd left the Coast Guard and hadn't started teaching yet. But I was working on a cruise ship, and some Hollywood people joined the cruise as a vacation, and they sat with me. I was chief officer on the ship, and they, I had a table.
Oh, awesome.
Where people would join me, like the captain's table and the chief officer's table. They would sit with me and tell me about themselves. And this was Joseph Gordon-Levitt from Inception, and his family, his mom and dad and his brother. And they told me all kinds of fun things about life in Hollywood, life on set. And I kept coming back to, that sounds like fun. That sounds like a really, really cool thing to do. And eventually, I think it was Joe's mom said, why don't you just do it? I mean, it's there's no magic to getting into the business. You show up, you do your work, You do what the director says. And then she added, you have a unique look. You're tall, you're skinny, you're bald, and that will get you work, she said. I was like, wow, I never really thought of that because, a lot of times you're thinking about actors as the leading guy, the leading lady, and
Right.
but there's a whole world out there, actually probably more than the leads, is all the character actors, all the other people that are in a movie. They don't make the headlines, but they're part of what fleshes out a story. So I hadn't thought of that. And sure enough, when I got back home and went to look up an agent, she said, yeah, we can use you. And sure enough, a little bit later, I was doing some work in Calgary. I couldn't stick with it. I ended up moving overseas for a while and then had kids. So I put it all off. But the back of my head, I was always thinking I'd like to give this another try. And eventually I did. Start with independent films and just build up the resume and work your way up.
Yeah, it's funny that
That's incredible.
It is. And it's funny that you mentioned that. There is no, I mean, there's many different directions even as a filmmaker and actor. It's not just one pathway. And it's not like, hey, I got to go to school and get this degree and do this. It's like, you just got to go do it and show up, like you said, and be reliable and that kind of thing. So that's interesting that you said that way.
Yeah. A lot of people ask me, like, how do you get into this business? You start making
Show up.
movies. You show up, you do meetings, you start doing auditions. And a big part of it is being reliable. It really is. So you got to know your lines. You got to show up on time, put your phone away, listen to what the director says. Like I said.
Put your phone away. Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big one, right? These days.
And then people will know that you're going to do what's asked, and then they'll invite you back. It's really as simple as that. Yeah.
That's the thing, is getting invited back, right? So.
Or, getting recommended by, hey, this was a great person to work with. I'm going to push your name to this big person or that person. And it's just, it's almost like all of that networking too, kind of combined in it. So that's
absolutely. And in recent years, I've been doing a lot of monster work and a lot of creature work. So
yeah, which I'm excited to talk about with you. That's absolutely.
Yeah. Because I was like, I think
that's another whole world. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what, that's what I'm like. I'm getting to that too. Yes.
I know. That's like one of the questions we wanted to ask.
Yeah, I know.
Don't give too much away yet.
Okay.
But no, that's actually one of the questions we wanted to ask is like, you started out clearly as like a human actor, but what made you like want to transition or go into, monster or creature acting? Were you approached, or was it like, hey, this sounds like a fun direction to try out?
Yeah, I never made that decision. I never really wanted to do that. It's just happened. I got auditions and in the beginning, and had a couple of smaller roles with some prosthetics, and it really was Haunting of Hill House where I got into it heavy.
Yes.
And that was like the full prosthetics, 3 hours of work, the painting, all that artistry by Bob Kurtzman, and that led to the next thing, and then the next thing, and now all of a sudden I'm a creature actor, and that's big chunk of my resume now. And it's miserable work, though. It really is. You're wearing these hot, uncomfortable suits. They're chafing at your neck. You can't go to the bathroom. You can't eat properly. You're just stuck in this thing for 12, 14, 16 hours of the day. You take it all off finally, and it feels so good to finally get rid of all that stuff. And then you come back the next morning and do it all over again. Got to sit still in that chair for another 3 or 4 hours putting that stuff on. So nobody
That's what
wants
I've heard
to
is
do
the
it.
worst.
Right.
Nobody wants to do it.
It's funny you say that, because I saw an interview with Doug Jones. I'm sure you know Doug Jones, because you remind me of Doug Jones, and he said the same thing. He's like, this is miserable work. It's like, you're sitting in a chair forever, and it's hot, and it's cumbersome, and all this stuff. So you have the same outlook as he does with that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so you go in with the mindset of, okay, I'm just going to suffer for the day, and that's what they're paying me for. And,
that's right. Right.
You come out smiling. You don't complain. You come out smiling because
you're coming out smiling because you're taking it off at the end, right? You're like,
well, yeah, that's true. But underneath, I'm smiling all day long. I'm trying to find the joy in it, and then they'll want you back because you were pleasant to work with. Nobody wants to work with somebody who just complains all day long.
True,
Yeah.
true, absolutely, absolutely. But it's funny, and you said you weren't looking to get in that, but you have that look. You're tall and you're skinny, and you have that,
The features and the
you have the features and that
characteristics.
unique look that
Yeah.
somebody's looking for. Even as a human actor, I still think, as a filmmaker myself, I look at you and I'm like, oh man, I got a lot of things, they could put you in for that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and then ultimately I would love to do more human work, and I am getting some stuff. Yeah, it's they like the skinny and tall because that's what fits into those creature costumes. They want the monsters
right.
to be tall, and then if you're too
Tall.
bulky, it's the suits just have to get proportionally larger as well. So,
Right.
but then you got to also stay fit. You can't just be skinny. You have to be strong. Some of those costumes are crazy heavy and evil.
They look heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
the
with
massive
the
stick
massive
demon.
heads.
Yeah,
Yes.
huge heads. So your neck gets tired. You can't really rest it very well. So you got to hold it up all day long. And the massive stick demon had giant hands that came out to here, and chains and human heads made out of silicone hanging from the belt, and horns, 6 or 8 horns, an even number anyway, of horns sticking out. And I think it almost doubles my weight, and I got to carry that around. So if I'm sitting, it's not too bad. But as soon as I take 5 steps, the heat pumps up inside the suit. And,
Wow.
and you're just dragging all that stuff around. And it can be exhausting. So you got to stay strong.
And how did you land that on that show? How did you land that? Because you played
Evil?
3 characters, right, on that show? Yeah.
I think I played 7 altogether, if you add them all up.
7. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're all different creatures, right? Correct?
Yeah, 7 different creatures.
Yeah.
So what happened is Marty Matulis, a good guy, friend of mine now, he originally played most of the demons on the set of Evil. And he couldn't do it anymore. And I happened to actually meet him on the set of Red 1. And Joel Harlow, the makeup artist who owns Morphology FX, he was also there. And I had worked with with Joel before. And when Marty said he couldn't do it anymore, we approached Joel and said, Joel, look at Fedor, look at Marty, look at the two of us, who were almost exact same height, same build, the shape of our heads, everything was almost identical. In fact, when I first saw Marty, this is still in the days of COVID, I first saw him in the line for the COVID testing. He was a couple people behind me, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and was like, are we brothers from another mother? It was uncanny. So they brought in 2 of us for this. And so Joel took that into consideration. I actually switched costumes for Red 1 to fill in for Marty. And then Joel said, Marty does this other show called Evil. It's filming in New York. We might need you for that as well. Would you be interested? I said, absolutely. Yeah, sure enough, a couple of weeks later, I got the call, and off I was to New York.
Wow. That's incredible.
That's amazing. It's been a great experience, I take it, for you, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's so many creative people on set, so many interesting people, like I was saying before. And I loved Evil. That was really, really a clever show. It was a fun show. It's in the horror genre. It had a bit of gore and some jump scares, but overall, it's just a fun show to watch. It's clever. It makes you think about things.
And how was your experience with Red 1? We watched that movie.
Yeah.
We enjoyed that. Is that you played one of the Krampus creatures on that one as well?
Yeah. So that was insane. It was such a huge set, and you can tell the difference in the size of a production's budget by how long.
I was going to say the money, right? Yeah.
It's the money, yeah. So the extra money allows them the time to film a scene in 100 different angles in 100 different ways, and just do it again and again until they get exactly what they want. And that's what Red 1 was like. So I was really in just that one scene when Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans arrive at Krampus's castle, engage with him, and they have all the hilarity that ensues. That was something like 2 weeks to film all that. And you wouldn't think.
Really?
I wouldn't.
You watch it.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, it's only a few minutes long, and but that was 2 weeks of filming to get all that stuff, and it was a lot of fun too. The stunt guys are incredible. They were just extras for the first probably 12 days, and then on the last 2 days they started filming the actual stunts, and those guys suddenly got so excited, and they're on ratchets and they're pulling the walls,
Pulling them and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and crazy
so-
speeds. I mean, you see them flying through the air. I mean, they're really flying through the air like that and smack and then drop.
Right.
And there's another thing that they do is called a dead man. They wear a harness. It's got a rope attached, and at the other end of the rope is attached to a bolt in the floor. And they just run until they run out of rope, and boom, they got thrown over backwards.
Oh.
That's crazy. And they just bounce up and they said, "That was great. Let's do it again."
It didn't know, right?
Afterwards, yeah. They're just thrilled. And afterwards, you see them all hobbling around with injuries and stuff like that. But at that
Right.
time,
Yeah, and they're probably so sore too from all of that.
oh, I'm
To
sure.
be young
I'm
again.
sure.
Yeah, no, that's a great experience. We enjoyed that film as
Yeah.
well. So,
Yeah.
but going back a little bit, in the earlier days, you wrote and directed your own short film called BFF Zombie, correct?
Yeah.
Over in the, so was it acting? Then I want to be a tried the filmmaking and then back to acting, or is it because you act in that as well? So you kind of did everything in that whole.
Yeah. And that was not the original intent. I wrote this little script for my little daughter. She was little at the time. She's all grown up now. She was living in Canada in this isolated eastern part of the country, and she was complaining about how bored she is, and she said she wished she could do the acting stuff like I do or filmmaking. And I said, well, why don't you just make a movie? I mean, she had 3 girlfriends there, and I said, just get a video camera, make a movie. I don't know what to film. I said, just write a script. I don't know what to write. I said, let me write a script for you. So I hammered out, it probably took me about half an hour. I hammered out a little zombie movie script that had 4 teenage girls on it because that's what they had, and sent it to her. And she was like, this is great. This is going to be so much fun. She never did anything with it. But I had this little script lying around for a while. Yeah, she never did. So I eventually showed it to a director friend of mine, and she says, this is a cute little movie. Let's make it. I'm like, okay, you want to direct? Sure. And I was just basically going to be the showrunner. But she ended up couldn't make it in the last minute. She broke her ankle. So I was like, oh, okay, now I'm going to have to direct. There was another guy we had lined up to play the priest in there, but he couldn't come. So I ended up jumping in playing the priest. It was an actual priest. We had a guy that was an actual priest that we were going to bring in, but I ended up doing it myself. And then, of course, I had to do all the editing and that kind of thing. But
Oh wow, you
I
did
tell you what,
all the editing too.
yeah. If I had known how much work it would be to put
It would have never
together-
happened, right?
Yeah. It was a 5-page script. So, normally with a script, you're figuring about a minute per page.
Right,
ended up being
right.
And
20 minutes.
Oh my gosh, just
yeah, I mean, if you
a lot of
cut out
work
the
from-
titles and stuff, 18 or something.
Yeah.
But I was like well over a year of work. And had I known it was going to be that much work in advance, I probably wouldn't have done it. I would have been too intimidated to do it. It's a buttload of work. And
It is.
however,
It is.
huge learning experience. I mean, I got to see what it was like to be the editor, of course, and directing and trying to learn a little bit about the technology involved. And if I had to do it again, of course, I'd do a whole lot of different things differently. But that's part of it.
Right. That is.
Yeah.
That's the learning. That's the learning.
Yeah. So someday I'd like to make another one.
Well, that's good.
Just really busy right now. Acting is so much easier. You just show up and
You just show up.
and they tell you where
Yeah.
to
show up,
stand.
put your antlers on, and go to work.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I say the lines. I got
Well, that's
to
good.
memorize
That's
the lines. But usually monsters
Coming up.
don't do much more than, and then we're
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So you like, so I assume you like writing because you're like, oh, I want to do another, or is it you want to do the whole shebang again, the whole filmmaking, making a movie?
Yeah, someday I'd like to do it, give it another shot. And I think if you talk to almost any actor or AD or
Yeah.
almost anybody on set. Everybody's got 2 or 3, 4 scripts that they've written that they'd like to produce someday and make it into a nice movie.
Absolutely.
So I've got my 3 go-to feature film scripts that someday I would like to make it into a film. But I can't say that I'm a particularly good salesman. Yeah, it's the money.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta get somebody to look at it and say, oh, this is worth me giving up $5 million of my dollars
That's the hard part. I find
it won't make any.
Yeah, I said that's the hard part, is that show business and the business side of it. It's the whole getting that whole business mindset.
And somebody to like buy into your film or your product is just like, why am I going to invest? Like you just said, like what's going to make me money on the back end? Or
Yeah.
Because I think we talk about that a lot too.
Yeah. Most films don't make money.
With all your experiences in your career and everything like that, do you feel like that's helped you in your acting career? Because I feel like it was a little later in life that you started with the acting.
Yeah, I started quite late. I haven't calculated out how many years ago that was, or how I was in my 30s, I guess. And I don't know. I think it has helped me. Acting has helped me in a lot of ways. I mean, a lot of this stuff has helped me become a better actor, but I think the acting has helped me become a better person as well. When you are in front of a camera, the director says, go. It doesn't matter how scared you are, nervous you are, or uncertain you are of your skills or ability. You just got to go. You just got to put it out there and do it. And there's no time to just cower in the corner. That's not going to fly. They're paying you to be there, so go.
Right.
Applying that lesson to real life, it does happen. You're building confidence. You do this a few times and you start saying, oh, okay, I can do this. I might be, like I said, nervous or scared or afraid, but I've done it before. So now I can just jump out there and do it, whether it's public speaking or presentation or any other of the gazillion things we do as humans. So I can take that away from that. It's been a great experience for all the people I've met, all the travels I got to do, but it also has helped me feel more confident about myself, accepting who I am, all those kinds of things. It's almost like therapy in a lot of ways.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah. People often ask me, I'll jump ahead and ask one of your questions for you, as like, what actors do you admire and have inspired you over your career?
I don't know if I have that, but
I always
yes, go for it.
Was it on your list?
No,
but please do.
No.
Please answer. Please answer though. I don't have it.
Yeah, I always look to the comedians, people like Mike Myers or Jim Carrey, who are absolutely fearless. They don't hesitate to make themselves look absolutely ridiculous. Melissa McCarthy is another one. They don't care. They're not all about looking cool and looking beautiful or whatever. That is whatever it takes to get a laugh out of people. And I hugely admire that, just to throw themselves out there and not worry about how they're going to come across. And I think you have that confidence when you give it 100%, that will show up on camera. You hesitate.
Yeah.
If you're unsure, that's not going to work. You have to give it 100%.
Right. Absolutely. And that's great. I think those are great people to admire. I think comedy's tough, and I think it's really brave of those people to go out and put themselves out there like that. So I 100% agree. I also 100% agree with it is therapy. When I was in acting class, I felt like that was just super therapy for me to go through. And it gave me a lot of confidence. So I'm with you on everything that you said. It just, you're not as afraid to talk in front of people, and you just feel a little more confident, for sure.
Yeah. It was an unexpected byproduct of going into acting. I didn't go into it.
Yeah. Not what you were expecting, right? You were like,
No.
You're like, this looks cool. But yeah, you grow as a person. So that's good. You get that extra byproduct of that. Absolutely.
It's like you must have to throw yourself to the wolves on camera and just, give it your best.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, yeah, I agree. And
Yeah, and you can't worry about making mistakes. If you worry about,
You're going to
no,
make them. Yeah. You just got to go for it.
and that goes back to the comedy thing with like I did SAC Comedy Lab here in Orlando, and that's the improv, and they want you to make a mistake. They applaud that. So that gave me a lot of confidence too, that it's okay to make the mistakes. So
because you don't learn and you don't grow, and
right. And sometimes magic happens when you make a mistake. It wasn't on the script. It wasn't what was supposed to happen. But
absolutely, absolutely. Those are the
down this path.
happy accidents.
You got to finish it, and it turns out to be fantastic.
Right, absolutely.
I think like the biggest thing we reference in that is the Jaws, with like the 50th anniversary. Oh, I can't talk. Yeah, 50th anniversary of Jaws is like that famous line, "We're going to need a bigger boat." Like that wasn't even in the script, and I think when we talk about a lot of that, it's like that's the one line we always refer to of like sometimes it's not there and it just ended up working.
Yeah. Hill House, one of your biggest, you're playing William Hill. Was that one of your biggest ones that you got cast on before that? I know some other things. I know you did Bloodline, which was really big down here in Florida back in the day. With great show, and I love the scene with you in it. Yeah, really great human actor part that you did in that. And I liked Haunting of Hill House. That was amazing. That was a huge show. I mean, did that give you a lot of boost in your career when you booked that one?
Yeah. And just a little aside, you mentioned Bloodline. All that stuff that I did, that was almost all improv. Yeah. Ben
was it really?
Yeah. Ben Mendelsohn just started.
Yeah.
I think I had one line or something, and Ben Mendelsohn just started talking, and I was like, okay, let's just go with that. But yeah,
I guess keep going.
Yeah. But Hill House, that was. It's the biggest thing that I've done in the sense of how well known it is. So when I meet people in my travels and eventually let it slip that I'm an actor because it's just fun. And they'll ask me, "Oh, have I seen you in something?" And I'll mention all kinds of films. No. No. Hill House? Oh yeah, I love that. That's the one that people remember. The one they recognize.
Wow.
And,
really? Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll tell them I was that ghost that floated down the hallway looking for his bowler hat, and they go, "Oh my God, you scared the crap out of me! I couldn't sleep for days." And that gives me a lot of satisfaction when I hear that.
Right? It should. It did.
Yeah, it's like you did your job.
Yeah.
I did my job. I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
When it came out, it was the #1 show on the planet as rated by IMDb for over a month. And so
that was huge.
Even now,
I think it will.
Huge. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun. I remember going to dinner with my family at a restaurant, and the people in the booth behind us were talking about Hill House, and I was like, "That's cool."
I know, you're like, yeah, I was on that.
Yeah, it was me.
It's like you almost like want to crawl over the booth and scare the crud out of them.
Yeah. I've done that.
Oh my gosh.
That's good. That would make my night if you did that. Yeah.
Yeah, it totally would. I'd be like, we're leaving. This guy's crazy.
Yeah, so I still refer people to that movie or that show because it is so masterfully crafted. The storyline that it has the siblings, the 5 siblings in the story, and each one has their own journey that is interwoven and then smashes together and blows apart. The cinematography, the acting, it's just creative and wonderful in a gazillion different ways. I still, every day, when I speak to somebody, I'll say, you got to watch that one. If you don't watch anything else.
Absolutely. It just elevated horror. It really was for horror, because I think when I say horror, people are like, oh, slasher. And I'm like, no, this is not, this is a thinking kind of horror, and a very different type of horror than what most people think of. So I totally agree. It was such an amazing job he did with that.
Yeah. It was. I even forget that it's a horror story because it's so much about family. It's almost classical literature in the way it's crafted. It really is.
Yeah. True. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there any, with all of your stuff that you've done, because you've done like, what I said at the top of the show, all these amazing things, and even stuff I didn't even mention. Is there anything great, any funny stories that you have on any of these sets, or something you love to share with people out there that you've experienced? It can be anything. It doesn't have to be funny. It can be moving.
Oh, I hate it when people say "be funny" now. It's
Yeah, no, don't. Yeah, no.
it's I guess one of the things that is kind of funny is with Haunting of Hill House, because it really was the biggest set I had been on to that point. And the very first day, what they had me do was that scene where I'm floating down the hallway, and the way they did that was very much basic practical effects. They put me in a harness, and there were ropes and a pulley system across the ceiling, and they just lifted me up and pulled me across the hallway with ropes to make my legs really long. And I'm not kidding. They taped swim noodles to the bottom of my feet, and then stuck socks on the end of it, and then shoe on the end of that. And that was what gave me my height. They had arm extensions that were more properly made, but for the legs, they were just swim noodles hanging there. So as I'm drifting across the hallway, I come to the door on the other side of the hallway. The problem we had was that when I came to a stop, these swim noodle legs would just kind of flop back and forth, and it didn't look scary. It just does not look scary when your legs are.
No, that doesn't sound scary.
Back and forth. So no. So I like to say that I did an amazing job to make it look better, but it wasn't me. It was the stunt people, Chuck Borden and his crew. They had to just practice and eventually get it to come to a very, very smooth stop. I wasn't doing a whole lot of acting. I was just hanging in the harness.
Trying to hang on.
Just really just hanging in the harness. I couldn't really do much more. I had to bring my head under the beam, because I'm that tall. I had to get under the beam. So I'm hanging in the harness, and every once in a while my head goes. That's it. That's what.
Oh my gosh.
And that's right. And that's just you trying to get under the beam.
Just trying to get under the beam. Yeah. So ducking under the beam as they pull me across. And so we do that once or twice, and then everybody would kind of confer and say, okay, that was better, but maybe we should try this and this. And then it just left me hanging in the hallway there. And those harnesses, when your full body weight is on the rope, those harnesses tighten right up. So it's a little bit hard to breathe. So it was okay for a few minutes, but after 3, 4, 5 minutes, and you're not breathing, it's starting to feel a little faint. And I'd be like, guys, let me
get that down for a minute.
Yeah, they let me down and all the way down to the ground, and I had my long legs with the swim noodles sticking straight out, and I didn't have anything to lean back against. There's a picture of me somewhere just sitting on the ground, and I look so not scary at all. It looks ridiculous, actually. These really, really long legs and these hands. I can't move my hands because they're just prosthetics. It just looks stupid.
That is a great story. I love that story.
I can just picture you hanging with the noodle legs.
Because it's always interesting to hear how things are done. I love always behind the scenes stuff and to know how it's done. And it's just like, I'm just being swung around here and trying to hold on for dear life and trying to breathe and, and all that stuff. And so it's always fun to hear all those stories.
They did it in multiple ways. So there's another scene where I'm standing there. They actually had me on stilts, the stilts that you use for plastering a ceiling. I'm standing on those. So that was my first time on stilts. They said, do you think you can walk on stilts? I said, sure, let's go. And
try it.
Yeah, I'll try it. Wasn't that hard. Another time, the very last episode where I float into the room and Timothy Hutton and Akil Houseman are there, and I kind of lean into that. In that scene, as I'm coming into the room, I'm actually standing on a little cart that has a handle, and I'm holding the handle like this. And behind me, that you can't quite see, there's a guy pushing the cart along.
Oh my gosh.
Trying
That's
not
great.
to make it look bumpy. There was like a little sill there, and I had to go over the sill, so we had to try and smooth that out. And yeah, so when you're filming this stuff, it looks absolutely ridiculous, but you do it right, and then it
Right.
comes across nice and scary on the screen.
Good old movie magic makes it look all scary
Movie
and
magic.
great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. We were on the same show together too. I did Burn Notice, a couple episodes of Burn Notice.
Oh,
And I know you did Burn Notice too. For an episode.
I did and I didn't. I had been trying to get on Burn Notice for a while because I was filming in Florida, and auditioned, didn't get it. Finally got onto Burn Notice, and I was so excited. I was there with all the lead guys, and very excited. I did my scene. I let all my family know, hey, it's airing whatever night it was, Thursday, I think. We didn't have a TV.
Oh no.
So I couldn't watch it. But after it aired, my friends and my family started calling me and said, or texting me or whatever, and they said, we didn't see you. I'm like, what? Oh, no. And a little bit later, I actually got a phone call from one of the writers, and he said, yeah, I guess you know by now that we ended up having to cut your scene. I'm sorry about that. It was just for length. This is still TV. They had to get it 42 minutes, right? So we had to cut in some
Right.
places. Your scene wasn't really essential to the story, so we had to cut you out. It's like, crap.
Oh,
That's like
That was a lesson. Yeah, it was a lesson. And I try to pass this on to the younger actors. I said, don't tell anybody until you actually know for sure
yeah.
that you made the cut.
Well-
You're not lying in the editing room floor somewhere. And then share it with everybody. Yeah, because it happens so often you get cut. Now, I did eventually get to see it, and I looked carefully, and you can, if you really know where to look, you will see like the tip of my elbow leaving the screen like that.
Oh,
That was
So your elbow made it in.
my elbow, just the very tip of my elbow, made it into Burn Notice. My name is still in the credits, and I still get a residual check every year or so. Every year, it's $3, $6. It's enough to get myself
yeah,
a
it's
milkshake.
a huge check, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Milkshake.
Well, I didn't
Yeah,
mean to bring up such a more sore subject, but I was like, oh, we're on the same show. So
Yeah, nice.
So what did you do? What did you do on Burn Notice?
I was I played a cop.
Oh, they had a lot
There
of
was a
cops on
tech-
that show.
Yeah, there was a detective that was following Michael around for a while, for a few episodes, and there was two cops that were with her, and I was one of the cops that was with her,
Okay.
following him around. So I got to be with him. It wasn't like any big, huge scenes. I had one decent scene with me and the other cop doing some surveillance work without her, and then it was with her or the other scenes. So it was just fun to be on a huge, for me, that was a big set at that time, and a big TV show, and it was just they were all professional and great to work with. So it was just
Oh
it
yeah,
was just
yeah. I found the same
great
thing.
experience
Yeah.
to work with them. And I loved that
Yeah,
show at
yours-
the time too. So I was like, and it's filmed in Florida. So I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I had
filmed
I know, right? Nothing's filmed here anymore.
No, it makes me mad when they say it's filmed in Florida. And I'm like, where? That's not Florida. Because I'm born and raised Floridian. So I always get so excited. And then like I found out CSI Miami started filmed in here, which is like one of my favorite shows. And then I think you broke the news to me that it eventually moved. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah, I remember going through that
Anyway.
phase too. Is like, why am I not getting auditions for CSI Miami? Oh, it doesn't film.
That's right. That's right. They're in LA. That's right.
Yeah. Thanks, LA, taking my Florida stuff. But anyway, so what kind of like creative, so somebody that's coming new into the business, is there any like advice you would give somebody, or creative advice, life advice, just to like come into this industry?
Well, I think a lot of it is what I was saying before about just being reliable, being on time, know your stuff, pay attention. This is basic being a human stuff type stuff. It's surprising, however, how often
Right.
you see that people don't do that. They show up late. They don't know their lines. It's I don't know. It seems like a no-brainer to me, but there's a lot of people that
It
do that.
does, and that's what
then,
it's
of
sad that
course,
you have to say that, but you
Yeah.
know,
it is. It
and
is. Yeah.
we want people out there, listening to, if they're trying to get into the business.
Mhm.
But those are great. Those are great.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
tips.
So
Just show
that's
up.
the kind of stuff. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you do when you get to set. The hard part is getting to set in the first place. You have to audition. You have to build up some kind of resume in the beginning, and that's when you just do it. Just get with friends. Like I was saying about the thing with my daughter. There's independent films happening all over the place, and these days, these independent films can be really, really good because the technology is not
Yeah.
expensive
Yeah.
anymore. You hear about
Correct.
feature films being filmed on an iPhone or something, and
Mhm.
or even a more professional camera. They're not that expensive anymore. Good sound equipment and a laptop. That's really all you need. And some fantastic films are coming out there with there's a movie I can think of right now. It's called Shutterbugs. 3 people filmed that during COVID. One learned
I
how to
heard
use
that
the
one.
I haven't
camera.
heard of it either.
2 actors, and they made a film that was they filmed it around their house. So it was a simple script around the house with
Yeah.
minimal equipment, minimal people, and they made a beautiful, beautiful movie out of it. So you just got to pick up a camera and a laptop, write out a script, film it, and do something with it. Show it to people at film festivals, show it to your friends. You gain experience, you meet people. Those people become friends, and as they progress in the business, they tend to bring you along, or as you progress in the building, you tend in the business,
Right.
you bring them
Right.
along.
Bring them along with you.
You see so many movies. Yeah, you see so many movies where look at all the Adam Sandler films. It's the same people that they're always working
It
together
is.
because they like working together. They're friends. It makes the experience more fun, and they know that they're going to get good work out of them. So you build that group. That is your group,
Right.
and you all elevate yourselves, and that also builds the resume. So now you can actually put something on your IMDb page. We used to have the resume on the back of the headshots, but nobody does that anymore.
We did back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Times
but,
have changed, haven't they? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's wild. I did an in-person audition for the first time in years a couple months ago. A callback.
Oh, did you really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it threw me off. It was like, I haven't done this in so long, and I screwed up my first line. I really did. They said, "Okay, go," and I was like, because I was just
How do I do this again?
yeah, I was just so not used to it anymore, and so I just stopped. I said, "I'm sorry. I'm actually a bit nervous doing this. I haven't done it for a long time." And they said,
In front of
it's
humans.
okay. It's
Real human.
Yeah. We know we're being a bit different here, so let's just go again. And I didn't get the part.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, I need a moment here and start over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So through all this wonderful career and this career that you're going to have moving forward, we're very excited to see where that's going. What has been your biggest insecurity in this creative field? For like for me, it's always the classic imposter syndrome that you'd always feel like you don't belong here kind of thing. Is there anything that you have to fight through, on a daily basis or a weekly basis or anything like that to show up and get on there and do it kind of thing, just for everybody out there? So I want people to know that they're not alone out there in this.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think the biggest challenge for me has been trying to balance this passion of being an actor in films with family life and providing a steady income for the family. It is not a good business to get into if you're looking to make consistent money. It pays well. It can pay very, very well, but it's in tiny chunks. Most of the
all
time,
the time.
Yeah. Most of the time it's a day or two. And then you get paid whatever, a full SAG, you're talking like something like $1,200 for the day now, which sounds amazing. But it might be months and months and months before you get another job again. And it's always that time when it's been so long since your last gig, then you're starting to think, maybe I shouldn't be doing this because,
Yeah.
apparently people don't like me or don't want to use me. And you get all down on it and you finally decide, that's it, I'm done with acting. I got to focus on other things. And then you get the call and you're back on set and you get all
And you're back right up
And
to
you're
the
back
top,
in the
right?
bug.
back up to the top. I am amazing. But
I'm the best actor ever. And then it's like, oh,
so
that's
good.
suck.
So good.
Yeah.
The so what I've had to do, and 98% of the actors out there are the same way. We got to keep our day jobs to have that steady income and something to carry us through the times when we're not getting those parts. We went through COVID, of course. We went through the actors, screenwriter strikes. Those are big chunks of time when all of a sudden there's nothing. And then even when that ends, it takes a while for things to start picking up again. So
Get back
huge
on.
chunks of time in between.
Yeah, that
And
train takes a while to get going again.
yeah. So we almost all we still have our day jobs, and you got to pick something that is if you want to do the acting, it's got to be something that has some flexibility to it. Where if suddenly they say, "Hey, we want you out there on Monday," you got to be able to just go, and that's
You got to drop everything.
tough. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
So I do IT. IT is a great job for it because I can do a lot of that work remotely. And I have my own software company.
Yeah, I guess anything like you have your own hours kind of thing helps out a lot. Where you don't have stuff.
So I could be on
have to
set.
be here right
Yeah. So I can be on set all day, and Hill House, for example, they had little finger extensions on each of my fingers. So when I'm in costume, I can't use my phone. The phone doesn't respond to these plastic fingers that I'm wearing. So I've even trying to tap the phone on with my chin.
Oh gosh.
You're like,
trying to
"Can you
answer the
think?"
call. It doesn't work very well. And then they get to the end of the day. I finally get the costume off, and I'm going back to the hotel, and I'm catching up on the day's email from work. So it works for me. It can be exhausting and sometimes a bit stressful because you're trying to balance too many things at the same time. But that's what works for me. And I think every young actor or that's coming out will need to find that. And I think as being somebody who is older coming into the acting business, I probably have an advantage. When I think of all those young kids coming out of acting school, they've gone to acting school for however many years they've been doing it. And now they're all graduating at the same time. There's like thousands of them, and they're all 22, and they're all really ready to go and so ambitious. But we've got a lot of people in that age range already in the business, already auditioning. So you're competing against so many people for that one part. That's harsh. That's harsh. And they haven't gone to school for anything else. This was their dream. I already had a career before I started. And then I come in and I'm looking at a real niche part, is horror, tall, skinny, bald, older, this kind of thing. So I might have to do, I think on average, I do maybe 8 or 10 auditions to get a part. Where these young kids, they might have to do 100 auditions to get a part. It's a different beast. It's tough. So, having said that, I think
and they've got to show up and be like something different than everybody else. Like, what's going to set you apart from all the other thousands of auditions these people have already seen?
There's that whole thing. Yeah, absolutely. There's that whole thing where they have to set themselves apart. But even just for them on the practical side, I think it would help them if they thought ahead about what other career can I do to supplement the income.
Yes.
That's great. Career builds. Because it might be years. It might be years before all of a sudden you hit it. I mean, there's stories out there of Victoria Pedretti, who was one of the siblings in Haunting of Hill House, one of the twins. That was her first big acting gig right out of film school. So she's one of these huge success stories. And she was on You. She was, has done so many other things. She's huge now, but she came right out of film school. But that's rare. It is so
That's
rare.
extremely
She's fantastic. She totally deserves it. She absolutely deserves it. But most people cannot expect that. You hope for it, wish for it, but
Hope
you
for it.
can't expect it.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great advice. I that's really great practical advice too. Just to if this is what you want to do, to think how you're gonna
Support yourself.
and do this business, and practically, and thinking logically and reasonably, and not that you're going to be the next person that
Makes it big or
that makes it big. That if you're gonna,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a long haul, and you're gonna have to support yourself somehow. So
Yeah, and
that's
that
great advice.
might, yeah, and by doing that, you'll have given yourself more opportunities because you can last longer before you finally hit that
Right.
that great
See,
role.
and
you
that's
might-
great
and
advice you don't get in film
Sorry?
school. I said, and see, that's great advice you don't get in film school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I love it.
and that's the other thing too is they and I had to learn this myself, is that you can be the best actor in the world and nail that audition and do an amazing job, but if you don't look quite like the part that the director has arbitrarily
Yeah,
in
Line.
mind,
Yep.
yeah, he read the script and in his mind he saw somebody that looked like this. You don't look like that, you're not going to get the part, no matter how fantastic
Yeah, you're
you
out.
are.
You're done.
You're out, and that's a real lottery. It'll be years and years and years, perhaps, until you happen to hit that part where you look like what they envisioned and you sound like what they were looking for, and
Absolutely.
then you're golden.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when is that going to happen? Could be right off the bat. Could be years. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great advice.
So, what's next for you, or currently going on, or anything that you can speak of without NDAs, and what that's going
Yeah.
on in your life, in
So.
in your acting life?
So I just came back from LA. I was out there for a month filming a new horror. I can't tell you what it was yet. I think they might be releasing some teasers about it in San Diego this weekend at the Comic-Con there.
Oh yeah, that's
but
going
I'll
on.
let
Yeah,
them. Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure. So if you hear something there, well,
okay.
then
We don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah. We'll be on the lookout for it.
once that comes out, I can tell you more about it. But I think what I can tell you is that I think it's going to make a bit of a splash. It's very different.
Ooh.
It's got some
I like it.
call it unique qualities to it that's going to make
Okay.
it stand out.
Okay.
And I think it's going to really appeal to the true horror fans more so than Hill House, where even like the true horror fans, I think, are really going to love it.
That's
I'm
good.
kind of
That's
excited
really
about
up your alley.
it. And
Yeah, that's very up my alley.
I think it's
Absolutely.
I think it's the kind of thing that'll really be a big draw at the conventions. So
Nice.
once-
That's
Well,
exciting.
That's very exciting. Well,
yeah, very excited about
we'll
that.
we'll be waiting for that for
Yeah.
sure.
I
Absolutely.
got a convention coming up in 2 weeks, 2 weekends in Knoxville, CreepyCon, the first weekend of August. I'll be there, and I'm excited about
Good
that.
for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, because I enjoy.
So those help. Do those help out? Do they call you for those, or you look for those, or they ask you to come along and to when the conventions kind of thing? How's that?
Yeah, so I've got agents that will go out and look for conventions, but sometimes they'll just come to me.
Oh,
So
okay.
in this particular case, this CreepyCon, they're going with a Haunting of Hill House theme. So I think they reached out to the actors
fun.
that they could
They need you.
for Hill House, yeah. And I'm looking forward to that. That's another reason I'm looking forward to it is a lot of the people that I worked with on Hill House are going to be there. It'll be a bit of a reunion for us.
Oh, you
Henry
get to see
Thomas
them.
is going to be there. Yep, Katie Parker will be there.
Oh.
Bob Kurtz, who did all the makeup for us,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
will be there.
Don't
He's-
forget
he
your
and his
pool
wife-
noodles.
People always ask, "Are you going to dress up for these conventions?" Like, that's so much work.
Yeah.
And for Halloween too, they always ask, "You must have some great Halloween costumes." And I said, "No, I do not."
No.
These amazing makeup effects and the costumes that I get to wear on these films. There's a whole team of people that put them together and spend months preparing and hours applying. That does not just magically happen after dinner before we go trick or treating. I tried one year.
You'll be disappointed.
One year.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I tried one year to do William Hill from Hill House for Halloween, and my friends were like, "Do it! Come on, do it! Do it! Do it!" It turned out weird, it really did. I was just gray.
Just all, yeah. Just washed out and gray.
Yeah.
So, where can people find you on the interwebs, internets, if they want to follow you? The social. You have some
Yeah. Well,
handles.
here's the good news. Here's the good news is I'm the only Fedor Steer on the entire planet.
Really?
So if you Google
Nice.
my name, you're gonna find. Yeah. You just got to spell
you
my
go.
name right, and I'm the only one. So Fedor is a unique name. Steer is a unique name. Put them together.
It is. Put them together. We got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, just type in Fedor Steer. Oh, my name's there at the bottom of the screen. Yeah.
It is. It's on the bottom of the screen. So if you want to follow Fedor, please just type his name correctly and you'll find him. Yes. And check out all his work. He's done some amazing work. And I know you'll continue to do amazing work. We're very excited to continue to follow you through your career. You're a super nice guy and super friendly and very personable. So if you see him out at a convention, please go say hi to him. He will talk to you for sure. And we just have to thank you so much for
Thank you
coming on the show and talking about your life. We really appreciate that so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. It's been fun. I enjoy it. So
that's
good.
I'm glad, and it's good seeing you. It's been a few years since I've seen you. I know we follow each other on socials, and I enjoy following your career and watching your shows and movies. So I want to thank everybody out there for joining us at the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast. You can join us. You can watch us on YouTube, and you can listen to us on any audio streaming platform. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We can use the subscribers and we can use the likes.
and leave a comment.
And leave a comment because I respond to every comment.
He does.
So thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
all right. Take care.